an interview with IndieWire, there is a lot to break down in this, and it is something that I think we were kind of robbed of. Deadpool and Wolverine writers unpack major cameos and who said no. Reed Reese and Paul Wernick tell IndieWire how Doctor Doom changed things. In the scene with Jon Favreau as Happy Hogan, did you want Robert Downey Jr. in that scene too, or did you know when writing it he was going to play Doctor Doom? We had wanted him to do a cameo. We had written that scene to start with Happy and Downey. Ryan Reynolds wrote that scene with both of them, so in hopes we could get Downey, but he also wanted Favreau because they're a great combo, and they were all in the scene together. Now, just to stop right there, this is the scene when Deadpool is trying to join the Avengers, and he's talking to Happy Hogan, and he even says, like, you know, the man, and he's like, oh, the man doesn't do this anymore, and he's like, cameos. That was a pretty funny scene, but I mean, Robert Downey Jr. almost being in the movie? What? Behind the scenes, we didn't know about the Doctor Doom, and there's no way he was going to do both. And then we said, oh, Downey doesn't say no to Ryan Reynolds, does he? No one says no to Ryan Reynolds, and Ryan gave him the hard press. We wrote scenes, and Downey read the scenes, but we didn't know behind the scenes was this Doctor Doom thing. Since we'll never see Downey in Deadpool and Wolverine, what was going to be his role or punchline? It was a reverse of what you saw in the sense that he rejected Wade. He just said he wasn't a team player or whatever and questioned his team player abilities. So it was actually pretty close to the scene that you just saw. It just had the two guys instead of the one, and then Jon Favreau was graciously connected to it from the start. It worked out great. I mean, look, we would have loved to have Downey, but at the same time, I think Marvel had this ace in their hole, which is he's about to come back in a different character. So to have him be Tony Stark, knowing that Doctor Doom was coming on the heel of that, it just didn't make sense. We haven't told anybody this, but there was a version of that scene very, very early on that wasn't written, but it was conceived that all the Avengers in the room and Wade was rejected and then dressed all the Avengers down in a way only Deadpool could do. So just stopping there again, it was written, he said lines, Robert Downey Jr., but they just stopped it because it didn't make sense because he was going to be announced as Doctor Doom later in the week. I mean, I think it still would have made sense. I mean, we know he's Tony Stark, we know he's Iron Man. I feel like we're robbed at that point. And then now going on to this, that all the Avengers at one point were going to be in the movie? That's a little bit of a scoop. But he was going to get mad and basically attack each of them in a vicious kind of way. Give me your favorite vicious attack against an Avenger. He was definitely going to try to pick up Thor's hammer. We did have that in there. Peter, Rob Delaney, was in the room and Peter just casually picked up Thor's hammer. Oh, that's right. Peter casually picked up Thor's hammer in the background. That was a joke. You're right. You're absolutely right. Originally, Peter accompanied him there. There were never screenplay pages, but it was the idea of the scene. I remember pitching that he was going to try to get Captain America to swear. I don't remember too much else in terms of the details, but yeah, he was going to dress them down to be sure. So yeah, I mean, my thoughts about this is we could have had some crazy scenes. I'm not complaining in any way because I think Deadpool and Wolverine is near perfection, but it would have been really cool. You let me know what you would have thought of that. A potential Robert Downey Jr. cameo with Happy Hogan and a potential full original 6 Avengers being in the movie. I mean, that would have broke the internet.